Good afternoon, everybody, on this wonderful Friday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday evening, depending again on where you are in the world. Nice sunny day today for a change. Bit on the cooler side, but still very nice. Right, I'll bring the guys in so you can see who's going to be helping me out with the chat. And today we've got JP in. It's party time. If anybody's having difficulty understanding what Jamie's saying today, he's got a bit of a cold or flu, so he's not feeling too great. And we've also got Diane as well. They're going to be keeping me up to date with the chat. Stick you guys back in the background. Now, Jamie's already put in the chat that the link at the top of the chat is for a t-shirt, virtual crafty t-shirt, and all proceeds for sales of this t-shirt are going to Braxton Worthing's family. Sadly, Braxton passed away last weekend, and any proceeds are going to the family to help with medical bills, funeral costs, things like this. The one that's pinned at the top of the chat is it's got a large logo on the front. But if anybody's wanting one with a smaller logo, Jamie has got the link to that as well, and I'm sure we'll be able to put it in.
Yeah.
Right, that's okay. That's that. Let's see. In the description, there is also a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page. There's a link to Steve SK's live tonight. He's got a special guest earworm tonight. Martin Saban Smith is going to be earworming tonight. I think Martin was on about a year ago, I think. First time he did it, so he's back on tonight. And that link's in there. And also the link to the t-shirt is in there as well. Right, so I'll change camera and let you see what I've got on the lathe. So on the lathe today, I've got a piece of ash. I'm pretty certain it's ash. It may well be elm because of the colour of it, but it is 9 inches by 5.5, and we're going to be doing one of the bits that I enjoy doing. It's going to be the bottom is going to be flattened off. I'll put a mortise in. I'll put a fairly deep mortise in this, because as well as this being off center, sort of this way and this way, I'm also going to have it when I come to do the other side. I'm also going to have it off center, tilted as well. So there's a few things going on here. There'll probably be some carving with my long neck grinder, and it'll be colored with black, well, with ebonizing lacquer and with Joe Sonia's iridescence. So I'll get on and do some turning. Now the speed I'm turning at is, where am I at? I'm at about 600. And what I tend to do with these, because of it's a winged vessel, I get the furthest point away, or the furthest point out, and I actually mark that on my tool rest, so I know my fingers shouldn't be going in, certainly on that side of the tool rest, any further than there, just to keep safe. So I'll start doing some turning, and I'll let the guys let me know what's going on in the chat.
Shall I go for it, Jamie? Save your cold.
Yeah, go for it, mate. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got Sid's repurposing, Clive Rogerson, the lovely Ruby Clare. Hi, Ruby. We've got Darren J. Calliston's in, Wood Wizardry by Colin. Hi, Colin. Hope Debs is all right. Where are we? We've got Lawrence Bagages in, Chris Dodds, some fella called JP Woodwork.
That'll be me.
Trevor P. Hobby Turner. Is that you? Is that you?
That's me, that is.
Rex B's in. Bob Nye. Philip Clements. Robert Dolman's in. Michael McEwen.
Let's see how that's going. I've probably got a little bit to go on this because I've got a bit of a curve this way. It doesn't make much difference. This is just going to be the bottom anyway.
We've got Rob from Copper Owl Wood Turnings in. Amy DeAngelis. Hi, Amy.
How you doing?
Terry Bartlett's in. Greg Alexander. And I think I've got everyone there. Barry Chitty, sorry. Patrick Hanley. Paul Bolton. Rob Seawood Turner. Steve Ellis. And if I've missed you, I'm blaming my dyslexia, so I apologise.
So, as always, there is a little bit of a fun question for the chat. So, the question of today is, if you were in Wayne's workshop, so actually, let's do a bit of a backstory first. So, behind Wayne, when I visited, I wrote a couple of things behind Wayne. The first one being Team Scroll Saw.
Hang on, can I stop you? Can I stop you there,
Yeah.
Jamie? Were you not
Yeah.
doing this question tomorrow night?
I can think of another one for tomorrow.
All right, okay. Well, no, I was supposed to have my whiteboard up so I could actually write down what they write on the wall. Carry on anyway.
All right. Right, so behind Wayne, I wrote Team Scroll Saw because we don't know how much Wayne loves a scroll saw, or not. hence why I wrote it. So the question for the chat is, if you were in Wayne's workshop, what would you write on the wall behind him?
Good question. Whilst talking about questions, we've got a question from the chat, Wayne. Marcel Durrett asking, how's the wood being held?
The wood is being held. Now, what I've got, my chuck jaws in expansion mode are 70 mil. So what I've got a 70 mil Forstner drill. So what I do is drill in the top. In fact, I can actually show you on a piece that I'm going to be doing for tomorrow night. This is the generally, if I'm doing thin work, this is how I tend to hold initially. So I've got a 70 mil hole drilled in this, the same as I have in this piece, and then it's just held in expansion mode with the chuck. And then what I'm going to do is do a similar size 70 mil mortise on this side, so I can again hold it in the jaws in expansion mode.
So we've got a couple of comments already, Wayne. We've got Amy's put hashtag Team Drilly. Hodgepodge put the only coffee flavour allowed here is sawdust. Darren's put Drilly loves spinny. Wood Wizardry by Collins put Kilroy was here.
Oh, I haven't heard that for years.
Rob CP put Rob was here. Let's go. Carry on going. Wivey Woodshed put clean off the sawdust before writing on the walls. Christos says, where did you get this lovely shade of brown, Wayne? That's what I would write. Paul Lockwood would write, how about what the beep are you doing letting JP in the man cave? Trevor P. Hobby Turner says, what's under here?
More sawdust.
Yeah. Sid repurposing put Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Mark Gentleman Woodturner says, sorry, can't reply, folks. I'm in the car driving. Nothing to do with your fingers then, Mark. Hodgepodge put, here works Wayne 1845 to be determined. Did you repurpose and put go die?
Where? What have I done?
Probably the same as me, nothing, but you still get the blame.
Yeah, Fiji. It's not a bad place.
Fiji. I've had to go there many times. Amy says, good luck finding where I hid your tools.
Steve Ashler Turner's in, are you, Steve?
Hey, Steve.
Mark said, I still got all my fingers, although one is a bit more bent than it should be. One of them is a bit more in Brighton.
I won't worry, Mark. I bust my toe a month ago and it almost stopped hurting now. You'll be right.
Robbo says, this is better than those stone tablets I had to carve.
I haven't worked out of turn with my feet yet.
Sid said, Guy, the oi oi oi.
Oh, yeah. It's just Pavlovian, that said. You know, you can't help it.
Right, just get this sanded. That's basically all I'm doing on the bottom of this. Be very careful when you're using a power sander doing this type of thing. Always, when you're doing anything like this, including natural edge bowls or anything like this, you always have the drill tilted downwards, so the piece is actually coming round and hitting on the pad. Don't have the drill tilted upwards, because you're going to probably hit the arbor and knock everything silly.
Jen's Craft and Creations is in.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jenny. So were this much thinner, Wayne, would you have a preference from working from the inside out or outside in when sanding?
No, not really.
I just wondered if the weight kind of flexed and resonated when it's thinner. There was an easier way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it will do. But it is I'm not putting a very heavy touch on this anyway.
So there's a question from the chat, Wayne and Peeps, from Steve Ash. He says, question, Wayne and Peeps, I just found something called a Padovac attaches to a drill and dust extractor, so it removes dust immediately. Anyone know if it works?
I've seen it advertised. I haven't actually used one in person, so I've got no idea on that one, I'm afraid. Certainly looks a good bit of kit.
Jen says she got a nice surprise this morning. Mark ordered my stickers and didn't tell her.
I've already mentioned that, Jen, that you've got stickers.
Sid's just shouting, Drilly!
I'm not going to do a hell of a lot of sanding on the bottom of this. There's not really anything happening on the bottom.
You know, let's change it up a little bit, right? What do you think Drilly would write on the wall behind Wayne if he had opposing fingers? Pete from Twisted Trees is in.
Afternoon, Pete.
Hi, Pete. Right, what I'll do, I'll just put some...
Hodgepodge says, clean my damn house.
Now, the best way to do this, rather than having this on the lathe for the bottom of this, if you've actually got one, the best way to do this would be with a planer thicknesser. It works a hell of a lot better than trying to do this, and it's a lot safer as well to get things squared up.
Darren says, I need a service. Take that as you like.
So I'm just putting some sand and sealer on there. I'm not going to bother putting a finish on the bottom. And then what we'll do, we'll just flip it round.
Steve Cassidy said they did a feature on the Padavac in Wood Turning magazine about 5 months ago. It seems to work. I have a mate with a 3D printer, so I made my own, and yes, it works for me.
Excellent. Nice one. Bring that up. Just bring this tool rest out again, so I've got that mark outside. So the bit where the point of the drill is, I'm just going to make a little feature out of that, and I'll make a feature out of the this mortise as well. I'll just get in there and just go into a point rather than have the drill point. I'll just put a little bit of a cove in there. Like that. I'll use my smaller gouge. Just to start putting some decoration on this. Everybody see okay? What's the picture quality like?
It's looking
Yeah, it
great,
looks
mate.
all right to me, mate. Darren says, when am I going cordless?
Move on to me bigger gouge.
Mr. Stacey at Turnabout Wood Art is in.
Oh yeah.
Radar Wood Turner's in.
There we go. See, I'm concentrating because I've got to do something similar on that project we were discussing, Wayne,
Oh yeah.
and then split it.
I'll tell you someone who did something like this, Di, that I don't know if you've seen before. He done a decorative piece like this and then split it into a few pieces. Was Robbie the Wood Turner?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That was
look at
that must have been a while back.
Yeah,
I tell you what,
an Irish guy, fantastic videos.
Rick Dobney does quite a few like multi-access standalone art pieces, and they had a few on display at the Wood Turning weekend. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Robbie doesn't make videos anymore, but any wood turners out there want some inspiration, go and look at Robbie's videos. He does some fantastic work.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Right, so as you can see, I've got this off center this way as well, so I'm starting to come out the side here, whereas I'm not coming out the side here. That's what I'm trying to do on this anyway. But what I'm going to do now is actually undo the chuck, and I'm going to tilt the piece out like that. Do the chuck back up. Now I'm going to turn the lathe down. I'm going to turn the speed down. Stand out the way.
Wivey Woodshed says, not more bloody Sandy. I want some drill some holes. Mike Lang says, I heard Robbie had passed.
All right, I hadn't heard that. I just know that he hadn't been around for quite a while.
Yeah, I heard that his dad had gotten ill and maybe passed away, and that he never really recovered from that. I didn't know Robbie had though.
Let's see if I can just bring.
Hodgepodge says, I think Mark needs to try one of these for redemption.
Now, hopefully, what's going to happen here is that I'm going to get some turning on around here, but there's not much wood left up here, obviously. But hopefully, I'm just going to get the turning coming around here, and I might just keep it at this one angle and go out towards the edge and see how we get on. So I've turned the speed down. I'm now turning it around about 500. I'll use my small go. Hiya, Barry.
Question from Robbo.
Yeah.
Can Wayne move the switch? I.e., is it a remote switch?
I can, but I'm not used to having it on the left side on the headstock. Whenever I move it somewhere else, I always forget. There you go, Robbo. I have moved it.
Mr. Stacey said Robbie was the first wood turner I ever watched on YouTube. He was probably one of the first. He was up there with one of the first ones I watched, along with Carl, Mike, Martin. Yeah, he was definitely one of the originals.
Just want to make sure, Robbo, it's now your responsibility to remember where Wayne's put the switch.
Benjamin says, crikey, 70 people in. Hello, all.
Hey, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Yeah, that'll do for that one.
It's blowing.
Always forget to switch that bloody thing off.
Darren says, smash that like button, folks, or tickle it gently. He has stolen Dale's script, hasn't he?
He has. Right, I've got a couple there. Let's knock that back in.
Hodgepodge says that sounded like really pissed.
I think what Drilly wrote on the wall actually was, for crying out loud, will somebody please blow out my brushes?
Right, what have I got there?
Alf Key says, hi all, question. Need to make a baby's rattle, need advice on safe wood. Or don't use
safe wood. Don't use you, use beech, sycamore. When I do baby's rattles, I don't tend to put any finish on. You've got to be careful with if you're doing it like in a two-piece. I usually do in two-piece. You can do a baby's rattle with a captive ring, so it's just all the same wood. But you can do them in two-piece, and I tend to fill mine with either rice or dry broth mix. The other thing to remember, a lot of people that do baby's rattles always get the handle the wrong size. Remember, it's for a baby. It's not for an adult.
Quick question with regards to that. Rather than when you say two-piece, do you say split it straight down the middle?
No.
Like a box?
Hang on, no.
Are you talking like a hollow form?
Yeah. So what you've got, like you've got the ball of the rattle at the top, then the handle coming down. Yeah. So what I tend to do is split the ball part in half and hollow each piece out, fill them, glue it together, and then finish them off.
Right, okay. Because what I was thinking was do a hollow form and then just put a little cap in the top.
You could do that. Right,
I presume it'd have to be a really dry piece of wood though as well, because if you put rice inside of it, it'll soak up all the moisture.
Yeah. Right. Where am I going?
You can just get a quick zap in the microwave to take any last little standing bits.
Yeah.
And
Where
just,
am I going on this? Around about.
Ruby's put output maple, beech, cherry are good. I fill all mine with black eyed peas and use a solid but a salad bowl finish.
black-eyed peas. You know,
Right, is that
unfinished beach just reminds me of like craft fairs as a kid and all the kids' toys and
Yeah, they do a
I
lot of
didn't
roller
actually
games
do
out of that,
anything
didn't
there.
they? Can you not finish it in mineral oil or anything like that?
Yeah, you could do.
My cereal bowl that I made, I finished in the chestnuts. I would say finish, and it's giving it a bit of extra protection.
Well, I'll just do one more on here, just around about there.
Terry Hooper's asking, what about hazel for a rattle?
I'm not very sure. What size does hazel come in? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm liking that.
Pete's got made a good point. He says problem with a hollow form with a small cap at the top is if the glue fails, you have a choking hazard with a size piece.
Right, let's get my. Right, what I'll do, I'll just put this back onto.
Not worth the risk, Hodge.
Hodgepodge says, what do you
Yeah.
think about spalted wood for a rattle? Only if it's finished in boiled linseed oil.
I wouldn't use spalted wood. Mainly because the spalting is spores. Right, I'll just what I'll do, I'll bring this round so it's horizontal and make it easier for you to use my long leg grinder on. I'm going to unplug my lathe because I always have a tendency.
Ruby shouting at Hodge and she says, no spalted wood at all.
No,
Darren
none.
says, I prefer to do captive ring rattles.
Yep, captive ring rattles work. But again, remember the size. It's got to fit into a baby's hand.
Yep. Or Jeremy Beadle.
But on the other hand,
You had to go there, didn't you? Right, so I'm just going to do some. Now, the reason I've unplugged the lathe is that I've got the spindle lock in while I'm doing the power carving on this. And I'm a bugger for whenever I finish doing the power carving to switch the bloody lathe on. With the spindle lock in there, it doesn't seem to work very well.
spalted wood, however, is all right for things like nuts that are in the shell. And to be honest, looks fantastic.
You're going to be colouring this one, mate?
Oh, yes.
Good.
It's very fortuitous you've done this today, Wayne. It's kind of answering a lot of questions I'd got about my project.
Ruby says, question, what is the purpose for this piece?
It's just purely an art piece, Ruby. No other purpose than to hopefully look nice.
Terry Hooper says, I've seen hazel in an old coppice woodland in excess of 8 inches.
Oh well.
It's rare they come down though.
There we go. Right, I'll just give this a quick sand over with 120 without the lathe running.
You can actually take a fair bit of work off with the sand in it and give it like a ripple effect.
Right. Sorry, Jamie, I missed that totally.
I was just saying you could actually sand it quite a bit away and give it a rippled effect.
Yeah.
Hobbo says they all fall over in a still window. LOL.
Can I nick that, Robbo? I don't like that at work. We used to come across hazel quite a lot when we were hedge laying.
What was you doing in the hedge?
Yeah.
What were we doing in the hedge? Laying it.
No, what was she doing in the hedge?
Oh,
I've heard a
hazel.
lot about this hazel.
I don't know.
Was you wearing a trench coat?
I wasn't, mate. No, I was wearing my hunting gear.
That makes it sound even worse.
It does
Yeah,
really, doesn't it?
I had an all-out battle with a squirrel for about 4 years. That every time this hazel tree's nuts began to ripen, the squirrel would have them all of the night. Camped out, tried to get it. I got outsmarted by a blooming rodent.
Right. Let's bring my piece of, or my palette up. Get some ebonizing lacquer. We've got a new crossing. Yes, I have. Oh, tell you what I didn't do. I didn't put sand. Oh, I've started now. Usually I put sand and sealer on before I put the ebonizing lacquer on, because that is just helps it act like a primer. But what I'll do with this, I'll just let it dry. It'll not take long to dry. And then I'll put another coat on. Plug the thing back in. Turn the speed right down.
Alf Key says, have a hazel tree 10 inches. It might come down this winter.
Get me hot air gun.
Jigs is in.
Hey, John.
John.
Have a look, see what that's like.
Brian
Yeah,
at Hardwood Turnings in.
Hey,
So
Brian.
Sorry he's late. He's been busy burying
Hello,
money
Brian.
in the ground. That is installing drainage.
How you doing, Brian? And the ever lovely Joe Senior's in.
Hiya, Joe.
Michael Howe's in as well.
Right, turn that on again. Give it another blast with the hot air gun. If you are using a hot air gun to dry the likes of paint or ebonizing lacquer, if it's a 2-speed one, have it on the low speed and have it a fair distance away. I've got this about 18 inches away from the piece. If you heat the paint up or warm it up too quickly to get it dried, chances are you're going to start, or the paint is going to start bubbling. Now, in some cases, this is a good effect. Jamie did one a couple of months ago now.
Yeah.
Where he purposely went too close and too hot with the hot air gun purely to get the bubbles forming.
Joe said, "What's the wood, mate?"
Right, looking at the wood now, it's elm. I thought it was just a dark ash, but it's not. It's actually elm. Yeah, that's touch right. That's fine. So I'll get some iridescent paints out again. Stick them down on the palette.
What colours we going for this time, Wayne?
My usual, I think. Violet, gold, and green. Not that green because it's empty. Paint brushes. Grand.
I think I've got a question. Well, not so much a question, but an idea for one of us Saturday nights. A point you could perhaps answer, if you don't
What's
mind
that?
me posing it, is hiding tenons or recesses in decorative work. You know where you still need to use them.
Yeah.
And I know we can always, there's methods of reversing and turning them off, but ways of decorating to leave them usable. I don't know
Put
whether
another
that's...
bit of green in there.
Oh, there's a super chat in the chat there from a JP Woodwork. Practice piece ?
Could well be, Jamie. Could well be. Right, what I'll do, I'll put some green. Let's see if I can just stick some over here just to highlight this area.
Darren says he uses Plasti Dip Clear a lot on the front of the 4x4 when there are bugs around, as an example, or likely to get stone chips. think I missed some of the conversation there.
A little bit of vadering there, Wayne.
There you go.
Nice one.
Darren says concentric rings to disguise a mortise, maybe.
Yeah,
That's
you can also use the texturing tools.
I just think it's an interesting. It's something that I've been thinking about, particularly with that cereal bowl. You're making something that you know is going to need to go on and be refinished every now and again. So different ways of making a chucking point attractive. I think that's something worth looking at. Could just be me.
Well, no, the other thing you can do is now the last one that Martin Saban Smith did. Okay, he'd taken either the mortise or the tenon off the bottom, but what he'd actually done in the area where the mortise was or the tenon was, he highlighted it with the texturing tool and put one of his coins in. Put one of his maker coins in.
Seth from Brickhouse Craftworks is in.
Oh yeah, Seth.
Hey, Seth. I just need.
You've got 81 lovely people watching, Wayne.
Excellent.
Just
I'm looking at the
22.
camera just to see, so I'm getting a better idea of where bits might have been missed. This is not this. It's. I'm not really using a dry brush technique here. If I was using a dry brush technique, I'd be losing a hell of a lot more paint off the brush, and just getting a faint, very very faint effect of the paint. I'm doing this a little bit heavier, so some of the carving is actually getting filled in, but some of it isn't.
Hodgepodge says, question, would you usually paint the sides black?
I probably would, to tell you the truth. I can still do that. I just want to get a piece of abrasive here. I've got some furry bits along the bottom here that I want rid of. And rather than cock up the paint I've already done, what I'll do, I'll try and spray the sides slightly from the back, going that way. That way I shouldn't get any overspray on the bits that I've already coloured. This is something I should have done, obviously, beforehand.
If you used to do that lighter colours, like turquoises and things like that, it might look pretty good with the black just coming round the corner.
Yeah. Yes, I'm with you. I see what you mean there. Yeah. Right, how's that looking? I think that's me about done, tell you the truth.
Yeah, it looks nice, mate.
I love that.
I'll just give that, I'll turn the lid on again, just to get the paint dried. Use a little bit of the hot air gun. Now you can spend a hell of a long time doing these, and you can do these of different sizes, obviously depending on the size of your lathe. Well, what's his name? Darren Breeze, who's a professional turner over here in the UK. He put a post up on Facebook this morning, and the piece that he's done is that high.
Wow.
It's a plank of oak. It's about that wide, this plank of oak. And basically, he's had it held in the lathe at the center point and just gone out in circles right towards the end. And the plank of oak has got the sapwood and the hardwood in there. So you've got the contrast between the light in the dark, and it's just it's absolutely massive. It's about, well, I would say coming up for 6 foot tall. Looks absolutely brilliant.
Because
Nice.
he's got a VB, hasn't he?
I believe he has.
Have you thought about doing a massive one of these on the VB?
I have. The only problem I've got is that I don't have a floor stand and tool rest. I've only got the ordinary tool rest. Glyn has got a floor stand and tool rest, so he could actually do one on his.
There you go.
I think we need to get Shug on the task, get something fabricated.
There you go. Could you not put a pole inside of a bucket of concrete?
I don't think that'd be strong enough,
No.
to tell you the truth.
Right.
That's something that Sam Angelo did. Oh, I think he did a couple of years ago, making a freestanding tool rest. I'm sure it was a couple of years ago he did that.
If you could get a big heavy cast base and some solid bar, you could perhaps make it that way. Another way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'd model it off the Jet one, that's like an A-frame.
They're not difficult to make. I'm sure Russell Clark had one made. I don't think he bought the VB one. I think Russell Clark had one made and Glyn bought it off him at Harrogate a couple of years ago.
Problem with anything like concrete for your mass is it's not up to vibration.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right, I'll just get some lacquer on this now. This is chestnut acrylic gloss lacquer. This will end up getting, I would think, around about 7 or 8 coats of lacquer. There we go. Again, I'll switch the lid on. I'll just get that dried off a bit, and then I can actually show you the finished piece up close and personal.
Robo says he has 2 Watkins ones. They're heavy.
Oh, they are heavy. Yeah, the Watkins ones. They are. I think they cast the Watkins ones. I used to have one when I had my Pullwood 2840. It was a bit awkward to use, but it worked. I wish I'd kept hold of it, to tell you the truth.
It would mean I could do bigger stuff on the Herald, because that's the limiting thing, is being able to get around on the outrigger.
No, it isn't. The limiting thing on the Herald is the motor and the
power.
bearings.
Of course, but I mean,
it's the bearings more than anything.
I don't mean bigger than what it's recommended. It's getting round it with the outrigger. It's even things that are well within its side limit. It's just very difficult getting around them with that.
Oh, sorry about that. Here we go. Change camera. Hello again.
Hello.
And there you are, guys.
Hello. Nice, mate.
Oh yes.
A nice off-center. It's a standalone. This will stand on somebody's sideboard or something like that. And seeing as how the mortise is in the back, you can actually hang it as well. But there it is.
Nice, mate.
Spitfire
1592's in.
Hi, Spitfire. So that's a piece. It is a piece of elm. I'm pretty certain, which has been done off-center in 2 ways. So it's actually off-center this way, and it's off-center that way as well. And then I tilted it out at the bottom to get the rings on here. So basically, they're just going across one side. And then it's been painted with chestnut ebonizing lacquer and Joe Sonia's gold, green, and violet iridescent paints.
Gorgeous.
Very nice, mate.
Lots of support from the chat. Everyone loves it, mate.
Steve Ash is saying for the thing you were talking about, Di, how to embellish mortises and things like that. You could put a clock face in.
There's, yeah.
Right, guys. I think that's okay. It's a fairly short one, only 50 minutes today, but just again, a demo showing what you can do. This is not a particularly big piece of wood. It's 9 by, what did I say it was? 9 by 5.5, I think. Yeah, 5.5 by 9. It's a good size piece to go on to the Axminster lathe I've got because it doesn't actually bottom out. If I was trying, I think the last one I did multiple centers on. I don't think I've got it here.
Hodgepodge says, could you use that technique as a box lid?
Yes, you could. You could use that technique as a box lid. If I was doing this as a box lid, what I'd actually... Oh, I nearly knocked it over there. Lie it down flat. I'd actually use my... bear with me a minute, see if I can put my hand on it. It'll be hiding somewhere. Where bloody hell's that gone? I've got an off-centre chuck, which I'd use. Which is this thing here. This is an off-centre chuck, and you can actually adjust the off-centre. What you do is loosen the 2 screws, and you take one screw, you take this one all the way out, and it's got a series of holes in the back where you can slot it in. So this actually goes off-centre out to around about, oh God, how much is it? I think it's about 1.5 inches. And if you unscrew this screw here, this section here comes out. This section here comes out, and you can actually flick this round as well. So there's a whole variety of things you can do with this off-centre chuck. You can see on the top, that's some of the stuff that I've been having to practice with, where you can get the different rings going around the circumference.
Hodgepodge says he meant, can you use the plank as a square box lid?
Oh, you could use the plank as a square box lid. Yeah, no problem. What I'd recommend doing there, though, is you obviously for your box lid, you're going to have the sides perfectly square and finished off and everything. I've just cut this very quickly on the bandsaw. So probably what you'd be doing, again, is probably getting these planed and thickness down to the right size before you do the top. And then, obviously, I don't know if you'd be wanting to rebate out the inside, rebate out so it actually fits on the box, or how you might want to do that. But, yeah, that would work very well as a box lid. Ruby's asking Brickhouse what his name is. It's Seth. Ruby. Right then, I'll bring the guys back in just to finish off. And here they are. Somebody put in the comments from, now when was it? Wednesday night? Yeah, from Wednesday night's live, somebody put in the comments, can you please tell the earworms to stop drinking before the live? They were very... So my answer was, well, 2 of them don't drink, and the other one, the other one's Jamie, or he drinks very rarely. And I said the other one was actually in between meetings at work. Right, guys, I'm gonna press the button. Steve's on tonight. Steve SK Crafts, he's on tonight. Robbo's still in the chat. Robbo, are you doing another tuition one tomorrow? If you could answer before I finish. Let's see if he finishes. So it might be Robbo doing a tuition one tomorrow. Jake's on at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon UK time. That's for... Yep, Robbo is doing another tuition one tomorrow, so I'm not very sure that's going to be 10 or 11 o'clock UK time. Jake Thompson.
I'll quickly have a quick look. Jake's actually doing a Pinecone Bowl live at 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. That's Jake Thompson, who does loads and loads of resin stuff. So he'll be doing that. Robo's on the morning. I'll be live at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, where I'm going to be doing the water drop bowl. I'm actually staying out in the workshop this afternoon to do the Blue Peter piece for that. So that's tomorrow. Sunday, Steve SK will be on. I've got a premiere I'm putting it out at 6:45 because Mike Walt is going to be on at 7:30. Jamie will be having a premiere out at 11 o'clock UK time on Sunday night, and Jake will be putting a premiere out at 11:30. I think he said, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 11:30 p.m. where he's doing a TARDIS.
Yeah.
So
he makes a full-size TARDIS.
Makes a full-size TARDIS. So there you go for all the Doctor Who fans out there. Right, I'm going to press the button. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming along. Again, much appreciated. I like the questions that keep coming in. Keep them coming. I'll try my best to answer them. If I can't, I'm sure there's somebody in the chat who can. And I will see you all tomorrow night. Bye for now.
Take it easy, everybody.